Okay. This is my first YouTube video. This is I'm Tiger David, and this is Offgrid at the Red Rock Sawmill. The date is November 13th, 2015, and the subject today is how to properly remove a mesquite. So I have a business background, and I've been working on Offgrid for about a year now, and I wanted to share some things with some other people because I looked on YouTube and read some forums, and I've learned some things, and I've seen some mistakes people make, safety problems, people learning, so I figured I'd pay it forward a little bit and maybe help some other people that want to kind of learn how to move off grid. I do have an advantage to a degree in that I have a background in agriculture. I was an FFA for 4 years in high school. I worked on a farm ranch as a kid, moved into business, and but I retained all those skills, and it's like riding a bike. So I was able to move in off grid and jump into it immediately, but at the same time it took a while to learn the skills, let them come back and kind of refine those. And so as I do that, I want to kind of catalog that, and also maybe I can share some other some things for some other people that may help them. But the purpose of the videos is, there's 5 points, is basic work skills and safety, and I want to share project ideas. Number 3 is to inspire people to build something instead of playing on the video games and the smartphones and computer all of the time. And the other 4th point is to kind of connect and ground to nature. It helps me personally. I just feel better. And also the other part is off-grid to me is it helps uncover internal creativity and self-sufficiency. So those are the 5 points. They may change, but my business background, I always have to have some kind of purpose or point for what I'm doing. And that's what I wanted to do with this video before I started, versus just shooting things. So that's kind of an introduction. Here again, this is Offgrid at the Red Rock Sawmill. Today's November 13th, 2015, and the subject for today's focus is going to be how to properly remove a mesquite. And I'll show you in a minute as I drive this bulldozer. But before we start that, I'll show you what I'm doing. When I come here off grid, I always try to knock out 2 or 3 different projects. Like right now, what I'm doing is I got a boxwood stove. Okay, so this is a small boxwood stove that I bought. Okay, it was about $188, $70 shipping. It's the smallest one I could find, and the reason that I wanted this small boxwood stove was because I'm going to put it inside my work shed. That's my work shed right there. Okay, now that's 288 square feet. Now listen, math is important when you go off grid. So mechanical, math, measurements, weights, all those things are important. So that's about 288 square feet. This little boxwood stove is rated to heat 600 square feet. Now that's probably maximum efficiency, so I'm guessing probably 400 to 500 square feet. So that's plenty of stove to heat this cabin. Now, something I wanted to say was, as I start looking into things and doing these projects, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. You never want to put a new stove in a house, because the paint from manufacturing and all the manufacturing process, there's residue from chemistry and chemicals on there. You've noticed I started my fire outside before I put the stove inside the cabin, so I don't have to smell all this paint. So that's what this is about. What I've done here is you see the mesquite that I've cut, and here again, this is my smartphone. It's not one of those iPhones. It's just a inexpensive smartphone that I have. But this is mesquite that I've cut as I cleared my land. Okay, and that's what I'm using to kind of burn inside that stove. Now the stove I had to put together, had to put the legs on it, you know, and so on and so forth, and put it together. It weighs about 140 pounds, not too bad. So I just have to be careful with my back when I pick that up and stand properly. But that's what's going on with that little boxwood stove. And they make bigger ones and more efficient ones nowadays. But I just wanted a nice little stove in my cabin. And I'll just do a view here on my property real quick, just to kind of see where I've cleared. I don't know if the pictures looks very good or not. I cannot tell from this little phone, but I think it's okay. But you can see how much I've cleared. This I have about 50.865 acres, so right at 51 acres, and I've been clearing it. And right here in this area, right here, this is about 7 acres that I've cleared in the center of this mesquite. I got a good deal on this land because it has mesquite. There's some of the prettiest land I've ever seen. Like I said, I have a background in agriculture, and when I saw this land and I saw the price of it, it was a good deal. And the reason why is because all this mesquite was on here. And you're going to see in a minute how much work it takes to take the mesquite out. But once you get the mesquite out correctly, it won't come back. If you take it out incorrectly, it's going to come back. And what it boils down to is getting out the taproot. So what I'm going to do now, I'll show you my dozer next. This is what I'm going to be taking the mesquite out with, and this is my Case 850D dozer. Now this dozer was made in the 90s, probably 1989, 1992-ish. They didn't know the exact age when I purchased it, but I paid $29,500 for that machine, which is a good deal. A new dozer like that's probably about 150, 160 grand. One that's, you know, for good commercial use with a light wear is 60, 70,000. Here again, I paid under 30 for this, but I like it because it's there's no real electronics on it. It's mechanical, so it's easy to repair. I can repair most things on this dozer myself. That's something else too. If you're going to go off grid and get equipment, I would recommend getting equipment that you can maintenance yourself and stay away from electronics. Now, serviceability on this dozer, you can see I just put a new set of batteries in. Those batteries are two 12-volt batteries, which equal 24 volts. And that's something else I've had to learn with my solar panels. I've had to put up some solar panels to kind of learn that. So integrating AC and DC and understand watts versus volts, amps, and all that. That is a learning process. I can do light electrical work, working with 110, so on and so forth. So I have wired it. I got an air conditioner in my cabin there, and that's really my workshop. But anyway, I just got a new set of batteries in there, and so we'll just walk around this thing real quick, just so I can kind of show my bulldozer. I'm kind of proud of it. I paid a lot of money for it. I know it's not new, but it works for me. So it's 90 horsepower. I got a Cummins. It's got a Cummins engine in there. It's a small blade up front. It's an 8-foot 6-way blade. There. I'll get around here. I need to get one of those sticks for the smartphone here because I've got it actually taped to a tripod. Anyway, there's the 8-foot blade, but it's a 6-way blade. Anyway, some other subjects that I'm going to do next is what I'm going to be doing next in some of my other upcoming videos is going to be, I built an outdoor water shower over here. I'm going to specifically go over that. Some other ideas I've come up with is, you can see over here, I don't know if you can see right there, I make these wood piles wherever I cut wood out of the old stakes, the old fence posts that I pull up. So anyway, alright, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pause this thing. I'll just show you my little cabin real quick while I got this thing hooked up, and then I'm going to pause this and start driving. So there's my cabin right there, and You can see I got a little air conditioner. I'll just step in here real quick.
72 months on qualifying Train equipment. That's 6 years of no interest, folks. Go to train.com and find your local Austin Train.
Radio down there. So, see, I've already wired it. So I got lighting, and that's the outside light. Then I got a fan. You know. So, you know, I got to work on my shop some more. That's a big air conditioner I use that I hook up to a generator. That orange plug right there, that orange plug is wired to a generator outside, and then the white part right next to it to the left of it, that's my solar panels. And so I've wired everything safely inside a metal casing there, instead of just buying the Romex. I'm out in the country here, and there's, you know, rats and all kinds of critters and whatnot, so I don't want them chewing in my wires, and to me it's worth it to spend a little bit more if you can and get the wire and the metal casing there. It's safer. And there's my electrical box, and this is my little solar system. It's a Xantrex, nice little system. I got 440 amps because it's 4 batteries at 110 each. That's my little charge controller. I have a cutoff, and then that's the rest of my cabin. Like I say, this thing is a work in progress. You notice that right there. Okay? Safety, safety, safety. That's important. I got a fire extinguisher. If I got a problem, I got a fire extinguisher. Here's a view from my cabin. I like spending the night out here sometimes, and I get up and I look out and see my tank. So anyway, step back out here, and then that's my garden I'm working on. That's another subject that we'll be doing is I'll be doing later is this garden. So my first year, you know, I got 2 tomato plants, and that's about it. But at least I got it built, and I got the cows out of it. I got the I have this property, and to keep it under ag exemption, I lease it out to a neighbor to put her cows on here, which is good because they eat everything down and kind of keep it clean. And also I'm learning about the cattle. I have experience with cattle. I don't want to get my own cattle right now because I don't want to manage that. I want to do one piece at a time, and that's something else I recommend going off grid is, you know, a lot of people try to do everything at one time. It's overwhelming. When I come out here, I'll pick 2 or 3 things to do. I'll work on 1, 2, 3 maybe, and that's it. Then I'll finish 2 or 3, come back and add 2 or 3 more. I don't want to overwhelm myself developing out here. So one piece at a time. Eventually I will have my own cattle, but that is not going to happen next week or any time in the next month or 2. It's going to probably be next year. Okay, so I'm going to pause now, hop on this dozer, and let's go take a mesquite out, and I'm going to show you how to properly remove a mesquite. Okay, so now I'm carrying this smartphone in my hand, doing the best I can here. Later on, I'm going to have to get me one of those sticks or something. But I think I can do this one-handed. If not, I'll just have to find a way. So anyway, I think I'm holding this right. Yep. Okay, so we're going to start it up. Here's my gearing. You can see my gearing, my controls, my panel here. We're going to start this thing up, and we're going to twist right around here and take out a mesquite. I'm probably just going to do one and just show you the basics so this video doesn't drag out too long. Like I say, this is just this is like my first off-grid video. I don't want to bore anybody. My objective here is to kind of help people see some things. You know, I learned to drive this bulldozer in a couple of days, but I had driven farm equipment for, you know, 5 or 6 years before I was 18. So it wasn't hard, and I've driven farm equipment on and off my whole life because I've always been on some kind of ranch or farm or own some land. But it is possible for somebody to get a piece of equipment like this and learn it. And maybe I'll have some classes sometime to kind of help people learn the basics. But it's just common sense is the basic ingredient really to anything. But off-grid, you've got to have common sense because it's dangerous. If you think about this, I'm out here by myself in the middle of nowhere, and if something happens, it's just me. So I have got to be careful. I measure twice and I cut once. It's something I learned as a kid from my granddad. Measure twice, cut once. And don't get in a panic on something. Don't have to rush it. There's always time, and that way you stay safe and stay out of harm's way or have an accident. So here we go. We're going to turn this thing on. I'm going to turn the switch on, power up those new my new batteries. So, uh-oh, I got it. I forgot to turn the main switch. All right. So we're running. I'm gonna lift the blade up. That's the front blade. I'm doing this one-handed. Straighten my blade out. I gotta lift up my back gripper. There we go. All right. That's the safety for the gearing. There's only 3 gears. There's the left track and the right track, and then there's backwards and forwards and neutral. So here we go. Drive a 20,000-pound machine that can run over a truck, it's wise to always look around and see what's going on. And also I've noticed when I'm driving this dozer, the calves, the little cows, have gotten behind me, and I don't want to run over them. So it's always wise, safety rule, look all the way around before you start making a move. This is a good place to start. Okay, this is normally what I deal with. That's heavy duty mesquite right there. All that. Well, I'm not going to get in that. I can't hold this phone and deal with that at the same time. But here's one off on its own, and there's a small one. So I'm going to start with that little small one and knock it out. And then I'm going to knock the big one out and then explain to you why it's important to get the roots out. So my technique with this dozer is I tilt the blade and I go in there with the corner of the blade and I hit that mesquite. Right now the dirt's soft because we've had a lot of rain out here, and it's easier to drive the dozer. It's not wet enough where I can get stuck, but it's soft enough where it's easier for me to dig down in there. So here we go. So you can see that's my blade. I'm gonna bend it. See? So I'm going to go all the way to that, and here again. Man, my arm's getting tired from holding this phone. I'm going to have to get me one of those stick things. Point it out a little bit. Yeah, I've never done this one-handed before. Should be able to do it. Came out pretty good. All right, that was picture perfect. Look at that root. Knock the dirt off of it. Man. All right, so here we go. All right, so that one went really well. So here we go. Now that's a small mesquite, right? But I want you to see the taproot. Look at this taproot right here. Oh, man. Come on. Oh. Dirt. All right. Get get you out here so we can look at you. See what's going on. Alright, so look. This is a good example. You see right here. Okay, this part was above and that was below. So I'm gonna guess this from here to the top of that, and I apologize for my filming if it's not whatever. So from there to there is probably about 4 feet. From the tip right there to the tap root, that's 3 feet. 3 foot of root, 4 feet of tree. Now if you look here, that's a, what is that? That's an oak tree right there. That oak tree is probably 15 feet tall, but the roots are only 3 feet. These mesquites are monsters. And if you don't get that taproot out, that mesquite can come back. Now, let's go one more and we'll call it a day for the video. I still got work I got to do, but we're going to get this one next. Okay, this one, oh, that's probably 7 feet tall. Let's go for it next. I think I could get it with one hand. Usually I drive the machine with my left hand and I use my right hand for the control the blade and the ripper. But if it's just one mesquite, I think I can do it with one hand. Later on, I can get one of those, maybe something and mount it. That's the corner of my cab. Maybe I can mount something there. I'm not up on all this technology. My arm's getting tired from holding the phone. Alright, here we go. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in with one swipe. My blade lowered. I don't try to do it all in one whack. See? I loosened up the dirt. Yeah, you see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Now look at it. Let me turn the dozer so you can see. See, that's preparation. Now I'm going to go in for the kill. There it is. One-handed stuff is not that easy to do. Like I say, this is my first video. This is my first video, so I got that one pretty good. You know, what I've noticed about these mesquite, I can get about 90-95% of them, and then the ones that I don't get the total root, if the dirt's dry, then I just come back the next year and get them. And if I have to, I'll use poison, but I'd prefer not to poison them because I really don't want that in my water supply. So this is an example. Look at that. Big old mesquite. Well, let me show you. It's 25 minutes already. I didn't mean to go that long. So this is a mesquite that, this is an old mesquite. Here. Now, I'm watching out for snakes. This is an old mesquite. Here. This is an elm tree. Yep, that's an elm tree. I'm checking the leaves. That's a small elm tree. This is a mesquite. Now this is an old mesquite. This mesquite here, oh, that thing's probably 20 years old, 15 years old maybe. That's good firewood. If they get real big around at the base, I can make a fireplace mantle out of them or something. But anyway, that and there's a cedar. That's a cedar right there. And this here, that's a cactus, obviously. This I'm gonna get rid of. But that mesquite, that's good firewood. That mesquite's probably 7, 8 years old right there. And that's a older, bigger one. They get bigger than that, but I don't have that many big mesquites. But anyway, this is picture perfect. That's an average mesquite, maybe a little bit below average of what I've got to deal with. And you can see how many I've got. I got a lot of mesquite to take out. But anyway, that's the root. This one was kind of mumbo jumbo here. You know, that taproot, I got it. That's the taproot. That's the taproot. There's some tailings that went on about here that got cut off, but this is not going to come back because this, as long as I get most of it, that's it. Anyway, that's my video. Apologize if it was shaky. I think I got most of it. I'll look at this video. If it looks okay, I'll go ahead and put it on YouTube. And like I said, my objective, my purpose is to kind of inspire other people. You know, it's a little overwhelming going off grid and learning something new, but you know, here again, I'm really happy that I can do this, and I can work out in nature, and I feel much better, and I feel like I've accomplished something, and I get to use my skills, and if there's something that I've learned or I can inspire somebody to do to give you a little bit more peace, you know, and a little bit more satisfaction of making something versus just watching TV or just sitting around, you know, looking for something to do. There's a way to go, you know, find something and rebuild it and refurbish it and just, you know, make something for those that want to do something themselves. I don't claim to be an expert at anything, but I can learn things, and as I'm learning, I want to kind of share that and kind of pay it forward. So that's it for the Red Rock Sawmill. And we'll call it a day for now, my first video, and thank you very much.